Thank you so much for joining me on this journey of Azure AI Fundamentals, and welcome to the first module, Discovering Azure AI Services Landscape. My name is Daniel and I have pleasure to guide you through this course. Before we move on, please try to imagine one thing. As a member of the cloud engineering team, you've been tasked with exploring Azure AI Fundamentals to learn more about Azure AI Services Landscape and implementation possibilities. Ready? So let's dive into Azure AI Services. Azure AI Landscape can be divided into three categories. Azure AI Services, also called AI as a Service. These Azure AI Services help developers and organizations rapidly create intelligent, market-ready, and secure applications. There is also Azure Machine Learning, or Azure ML, a comprehensive machine learning platform for model training, deployment, and ML ops. In the end, there are also copilots, also called AI assistants, generative AI-powered assistants integrated into Microsoft ecosystem. Microsoft Copilot for Azure or embedded AI assistants in M365, like in Word or Excel, are some of the examples here. In this course, we are going to focus on Azure AI services for developers and organizations to rapidly create AI applications. Let's discover some of the most used Azure AI services. Azure OpenAI provides access to OpenAI's powerful language models via Azure for AI-powered applications. Azure AI Document Intelligence is a service that uses AI to extract, analyze and process data from documents like invoices, forms, and receipts. Azure AI Search enables intelligent search and data exploration across structured and unstructured content using AI. Azure AI Custom Vision enables users to train, deploy, and improve custom image classification and object detection models using AI. Azure AI Speech enables speech-to-text, text-to-speech, speech translation, and speaker recognition using AI. But there are more. Azure AI Vision enables AI-powered image and video analysis for object detection, text extraction, and facial recognition. Azure AI Language provides natural language processing capabilities for text analysis, translation, and conversational AI. Azure AI Content Safety is a service that uses AI to detect and filter harmful, offensive, and inappropriate content in text and images. Azure AI Face enables facial detection, recognition, and analysis for identity verification and emotion detection. There is also Azure AI Video Indexer. It's a service that uses AI to extract insights such as speech, text, and emotions from video and audio content. Let's talk a bit more about some of these services. Azure AI Speech enables powerful speech-to-text, text-to-speech, and real-time translation capabilities, offering high accuracy and extensive customization options. It supports multiple languages, custom voice models, and advanced speech recognition features, making it perfect for applications in accessibility, transcription, and interactive experiences. For instance, it can be a perfect choice for building interactive applications. Azure AI Language powers natural language processing for tasks such as analyzing sentiment, recognizing entities, and summarizing text. It supports a wide range of languages and offers customizable models, making it ideal for applications like chatbots, content analysis, and business intelligence. Azure AI Vision leverages advanced AI models to analyze images and videos for tasks like object detection, text extraction, and facial recognition. Seamlessly integrating with other Azure services, it helps extract valuable insights from visual data to enhance AI-driven solutions. Azure OpenAI offers access to powerful generative AI models such as GPT-4 or DALL-E. These models are hosted on Azure's cloud infrastructure, ensuring scalability, security, and reliability. It provides SDKs, REST APIs, and seamless integration with other Azure AI services for easy implementation. Azure AI Document Intelligence extracts key information from complex documents such as invoices, receipts, and forms using both pre-built and custom models. It efficiently processes structured, semi-structured, and unstructured documents. The service offers SDKs, REST APIs, and integrates seamlessly with other Azure AI services for enhanced functionality. When talking about Azure AI Document Intelligence Service, it's worth mentioning that Azure provides a great tool called Document Intelligence Studio. It's an online platform designed for exploring and implementing AI-driven document processing. It allows for extraction of essential data from various types of documents. Additionally, it enables the creation of custom models without the need for coding. Another great service is Azure AI Search. Azure AI Search uses AI-driven pipelines to extract information from both structured and unstructured documents, creating searchable indexes. It transforms data into vector indexes, ensuring efficient search and retrieval. It's the recommended retrieval service for retrieval augmented generation-based applications on Azure, offering native integration with OpenAI and Azure's machine learning services. Azure Portal enables service management, content control, prototyping, and querying of indexes and skill sets when using Azure AI Search. AI Search can be used with other Azure AI services like Azure AI Language or Azure AI Vision to extract data and insights. There are also SDKs and REST APIs to integrate Azure AI Search into AI-powered applications. Azure also provides AI services to work with video files. Azure AI Video Indexer is a service designed to extract valuable insights from video and audio content. It leverages services like Face, Translator, Azure AI Vision, and Speech to gather meaningful data. The service produces comprehensive metadata and provides contextual understanding from media files. Here are some of the video models examples available in Azure AI Video Indexer. Face detection, detects and groups faces appearing in the video. Keyframe extraction, detects stable keyframes in a video. Optical character recognition, extracts text from images like pictures. Labels identification, identifies visual objects and actions displayed. There are also audio models available in Azure AI Video Indexer. Audio transcription converts speech to text over 50 languages and allows extensions. Automatic language detection identifies the dominant spoken language. Noise reduction clears up telephonic audio or noisy recordings. Text-based emotion detection. Emotions such as joy, sadness, anger, and fear that were detected via transcript analysis. In the end, it's worth mentioning that Microsoft provides SDKs and REST APIs to make it easier to integrate with all these Azure AI services and build AI-powered applications. In this demo, you are going to discover how to implement search operations with Azure AI Search. Azure AI Search Service can be created directly from the Azure portal. Once it's created, there are a couple of steps we have to execute to make it possible actually to extract the content from structured and unstructured documents. So first step is actually to connect to the data source. Data source is a place where we store all those different kinds of files and documents. So actually Azure AI Search Service will connect to the data source and will extract the content and create something what is called index. So it will be possible for us to search for specific content in all those different kinds of documents. So now let's see how to connect data source. For this demo specifically, I decided to store all my files that will be used by Azure AI Search on the Azure Blob Storage. Azure Blob Storage is a simple cloud storage available in the Azure cloud. You can store different kinds of documents in different formats there. As you can see, I have 8 files uploaded to Azure Blob Storage. 7 of them are PDF files containing invoice data, and the last one is Excel spreadsheet that also contains invoice data. So now we will see how to actually connect to this Azure Blob Storage as a data source from Azure AI Search Service. The process of connecting new data source in Azure AI Search Service is pretty simple. From the left side, we have to select Data Sources, and then from the top, we have to select Add Data Source. So let's do it now. I'm clicking Add Data Source, and this is actually the place where we can specify this new data source for Azure AI Search Service. So for the name, I will use Invoices Data, and from the Storage Account dropdown, I will select the storage account, which I showed you, where I store all my files that will be used by Azure AI Search Service. Obviously, I have to also provide the name of the container where all files are located. And once all the information is provided, I can click Create button. So let's do it now. As we can see, this Azure Blob Storage was successfully added as a data source for Azure AI Search Service. Perfect. So right now we can create index and actually extract the data from those files I showed you. Before we will do it, let's take a look at those files that we will use in this demo. Here is one of those PDF files with invoice data I showed you before. As we can see, there is typical data for invoice, like invoice number, invoice for, and charges. Here is another invoice, but this time for this invoice, I'm using Excel spreadsheet. So now we are going to see how to extract and index data from those different kinds of documents to make it possible to search through the content from those invoices. To make it possible to search through the content from different kinds of documents, we have to actually import this data into Azure AI Search and index this data. The simplest way to do it is to use import data functionality. So from the top, we have to select import data. So let's do it now. And there we have to specify the data source. In this specific example, we are going to use our existing Azure Blob Storage data source that we connected earlier. So let's select Invoices Data and let's click Next button. In the next step, actually, we can customize the data extraction flow. But for this demo purpose, I will only use one additional enrichment, which is OCR. So under Add Enrichments, I'm selecting Enable OCR and merge all text into Merge Content field. From there, we can click Next button. In the next step, we can customize target index in Azure AI Search. The thing is that once the data is extracted from the documents, the content can be actually stored under different fields. So when Azure AI Search Service will return search results, we can see different data under different fields. But for this demo purpose, we are going to use the default index. So now let's click Next button. In this last step, we can specify the name for the indexer, which will be responsible for extracting the data from the content, from all those documents from the Azure Blob Storage. And also we can set the schedule. So how often this indexer will go through the content of each file and will extract it using also the target index that we specified before. But for now, I will leave default parameters here. So in this case, we can click Submit button to create indexer, index, and also to extract the content from those documents I showed you before that are stored on the Azure Blob Storage. So let's click Submit button. Once the extraction process is completed successfully, we can test and query some data from those different kinds of documents. The easiest way to do it is to use Search Explorer that is directly available from the Azure AI Search Service tab. So let's select Search Explorer, and now let's try to query some data. From there, I can provide specific query and see the results returned by Azure AI Search Service. So let's test it. I will type invoice for Microsoft and I will click Search button. As we can see, Azure AI Search Service returns all the files and the content where Microsoft is mentioned. So obviously this data was extracted from the invoices that I uploaded to Azure Blob Storage. Now let's try to use different query. I will type ESG Financial Services and I will click Search button. As we can see, Azure AI Search Service returned only one result. Why? Because I only have one Excel spreadsheet where this company is actually mentioned. Perfect. So now you understand some of the basic capabilities of Azure AI Search Service and you can leverage it to build AI-powered applications. In this module, we are going to talk about creating generative AI apps with Azure Foundry and troubleshooting issues with Copilot for Azure. Let's first discover how to leverage Azure AI Foundry for building generative AI applications. What is Azure AI Foundry and how can it help with AI-powered apps development? It is a comprehensive platform designed to help developers and IT teams create, customize, and manage AI applications. It offers tools and APIs to seamlessly integrate AI models such as Azure OpenAI and Azure Search into different kinds of projects. With built-in governance and collaboration features, it streamlines AI development, making the process faster and more efficient. You can easily start using Azure AI Foundry functionalities by creating two components, Hub and Project. Let's discuss the Hub first. Hub is used as a container for projects created in Azure AI Foundry, which means that under one hub, there can be multiple isolated projects created. It allows teams to pre-configure connections to shared resources, such as data storage or AI models, enabling seamless access for all associated projects without repeated administrative setup. With built-in governance and collaboration features, it accelerates AI-powered applications development. It's worth knowing that Hub scope connections are shared with projects created from the Hub. So what is the project? Project in AI Foundry provides a dedicated workspace with access to development tools for building and customizing AI applications. It includes reusable components like datasets or models. It's worth knowing that each project operates within an isolated environment, allowing teams to securely upload data and configure isolated resources for AI applications developed in a specific project. In this demo, you are going to explore Azure AI Foundry portal. Here is Azure AI Foundry portal. It can be accessed under ai.azure.com. This is the place where we can start discovering Azure AI services. This is also the place where we can create Hub and then Project. So let's see how to do it. To create new Hub and Project, we have to click Create Project button. Once clicked, there is a new window open where we can specify the name of the project and also decide whether to use existing hub or to create one using Create New Hub button. As you remember, Hub is a container for projects. So now, what I will do, I will click Create New Hub button. And actually, as you can see here, I have to provide the name for this hub. Once the name is provided, I can provide the name for the project. And once the project is created, I can access it through Azure AI Foundry portal. Here is my existing project that I created for this course. And as we can see, I can directly access it through Azure AI Foundry portal. On the left side, I have access to different kinds of functionalities and Azure AI services which I can use for this specific project. In this demo, we are going to see how to build simple generative AI application and how to connect to existing Azure AI search service that we created in a previous module so we can retrieve information from the documents using the chat window. So let's see how to do it. From the left side, we have to select Playgrounds. So let's do it. And from there, we have to click Try the Chat Playground. Once it's clicked, we have to create new deployment. So let's do it. Let's click Create a Deployment button. And from there, as you can see, we have access to different kinds of models and versions. And the model we are interested in is a GPT for chat completion. So let's select it and let's click Confirm button. Here, we have to accept deployment and provide the deployment name. And once we provide deployment name, we can click Deploy button. So let's do it now. And within a few seconds, this specific model is ready. So as we can see, we can access chat window and start asking different kinds of questions to this model. Important fact is that right now, this model does not have access to any of the data we uploaded to Azure Blob Storage and we saw in the Azure AI search in the previous module. To access actually this data, we will have to connect Azure AI Search here as data source for this playground. So it means that even if I will ask any questions about the content from those documents in the chat window, this model will not be able to provide the proper answers. So that's why we will have to connect the data source. Before we will do it, let's ask just one question to this model. Let me type this simple question. What is Pluralsight company? And as we can see, within seconds, I have response from this model. And obviously, important fact is that this data is generally available. Everyone over the internet can actually look and discover what is Pluralsight. However, this model does not have access to our private data and files. It means that we will have to connect data source to this model, so actually this model can access this data and provide proper answers. And this is one of the techniques that is called retrieval augmented generation. So we are asking the question to the model, but also this model can search into data source and provide the proper answers and data in the responses. So now let's see how to connect Azure AI Search Service to this playground. As we can see, on the left side, there is this section called Add Your Data. Let's click it, and as we can see, there is no index selected. So we can add it using Add a New Data Source button. So let's click it, and actually this is the place where we can add our data source. So first of all, we have to select data source. So let's click drop down, and let's select Azure AI Search Service. Then let's click Next button. After that, we have to select specific Azure AI Search Service. So from the first drop-down, let's find our Azure AI Search Service that we created in the previous module. So from there, I can select specific Azure AI Search Service, and when I scroll down, I can see the service that I created before. So let's click Add Connection button to add connection to this Azure AI Search Service. It will take a few seconds to add this connection, and after that, from the drop-down, I can select this specific Azure AI Search Service. Perfect. From the second drop-down, I have to select the index. As you remember, we created index in the previous module. So let's select existing index, and then let's click Next button. In the next step, we have to specify vector index. A vector index is used in this process called retrieval augmented generation I mentioned before. So actually it is used to extract the data from the data sources, like from those documents I mentioned before, and passing this information along with the user question to the model. For this index, I will use the default name and I will click Next button. In the last window, we see the summary and we can click Create a Vector Index button. So let's do it now. And now vector index is being created and our data source is being added to this specific playground. As we can see on the left side, there was our data source added to this playground. So right now we can ask specific question to this model, but this time with data source connected. So let's type, provide me with the names of all the invoice files where Microsoft is mentioned. And within a few seconds, we will see that this model returns information about the files where Microsoft is mentioned, and actually about the invoices where Microsoft is mentioned. So with this approach, we can actually really quickly build generative AI applications with Azure AI Foundry. In this clip, you are going to learn how to optimize and troubleshoot operations with Microsoft Copilot for Azure. Let's first answer an important question. What is Microsoft Copilot for Azure? It's an AI-powered assistant that helps developers and IT teams work faster and more efficiently in the Microsoft Azure cloud. How can it help you and what are some of its capabilities? Microsoft Copilot for Azure simplifies cloud management. It can help discover different kinds of insights about your cloud environment, like resource usage and cost behind it. It enhances cloud development. With Azure Copilot support, you can write PowerShell and Azure CLI scripts faster as Copilot can generate them for you. It boosts security and compliance. Copilot for Azure can help you discover non-compliant resources and security issues in your cloud environment. You can access Copilot for Azure directly from the Azure portal. There is a button available on the top bar. Once clicked, there is a chat window open so developers and IT admins can interact with it and ask specific questions. Like for instance, which resources are not compliant? How does our cost this month compare to last month? Or I want to use Azure Functions to build an OpenAI application. How to start? Here are some more usage scenarios for Copilot for Azure. You can analyze, estimate, and optimize costs. You can generate Azure CLI scripts. You can generate Terraform and Bicep configurations. You can understand service health events and status. And also, you can troubleshoot network connectivity. Great! We have reached the end of this course. Let's summarize the topic you have learned. You've learned about Azure AI services landscape and how to leverage them for AI applications. You have discovered how to use Azure AI Foundry for designing and deploying generative AI applications. You have also learned how to optimize and troubleshoot operations with Microsoft Copilot for Azure. Thank you so much for joining me on this Azure AI Fundamentals course. I hope you enjoyed this course content as much as I did, and I hope to see you in the next courses.